A very good morning to all of you. So, just yesterday morning, the Finance Minister of India, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, presented the Union Budget for the year 2023-24 to the Parliament of India and to the nation. So, today I, Ritvik Singh Rotela, the Vice President of Private Wealth Solutions, Vice Minister, and the Product Head, is going to brief you upon the key takeaways of the Union Budget and how this budget is going to affect your daily life. So let us understand by what our finance minister had to say in her speech. So Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman is now ushering in, and the government is focused on ushering in an Amrit Kal agenda, which is focused on the opportunities for citizens, especially the youth, and providing strong impetus for growth and job creation. The target to achieve this Amrit Kal are going to be economic development for women, Vishwakarma Kaushal Samman or PM Vikas scheme, tourism, and especially green energy is going to play a major role in this budget. The seven priorities of this budget, or what we can call Saptarishi, that are going to guide us through this Amrit Kal, are going to be inclusive development on regional, economic, social, and gender terms. Reaching the last mile, reaching to the end citizen of India is going to be the goal. A large investment into infrastructure and growth, ushering the potential of the young India, green growth, focusing on renewables, youth power, tapping the tremendous energy of the youth of India, and especially the financial sector, which is the backbone of Indian economy. So these seven Saptarishi is what is going to be the focus of Indian government for this coming financial year. So an overview on major plans and scheme, if we go through that, Atmanirbhar Clean Plant Program. So improved facility and availability of disease-free quality material of horticulture crops with an outlay of 2,200 crores, encouraging young agri-tech startups. Because what India is a agriculture dependent economy, most of our populace still rise in the rural segment and is dependent on agriculture. Reaching them through schemes like Sri Anna and Sahakar Samriddhi with an outlay of more than 2,500 crores is going to be the focus of the government. Assistance for traditional artisans and craftsmanship. So a lot of input has been given to artisans and craftsmen to support their MSMEs, to help them reach the quality and scale of business so that they can be ushered into a new era of being a good entrepreneurs where they can sustain and build good livelihood for themselves. PM Matsya Sampada Yojana is launched with a target of 6,000 crores to actively engage with fishermen, fish vendors, and MSMEs in the fishery sector to make the supply chain of fisheries very efficient and expand the overall market. 157 new nursing colleges are going to be established with co-location in the existing 157 medical colleges. A lot of teachers are going to be hired. Why? Because teachers are the growth engines of India. They are the ones who produce engineers, who produce scientists, who produce chartered accountants. So the government is going to recruit 38,800 teachers and going to build 740 Eklavya model residential schools for approximately 3.5 lakh tribal students. To improve socio-economic conditions, particularly in the vulnerable tribal sector, the Pradhan Mantri PVGTG development mission is being launched. This will be assisting the tribal segment in developing a sustainable livelihood and accessing the right opportunities of the market. A enormous outlay and approximately allocation of up to 66% has been given to PM Awas Yojana, where Grameen and urban sector is going to be benefited, and this scheme is going to help the poor to have the roof on their head. Ease of doing businesses, 39,000 compliances have been reduced, and more than 3,400 legal provisions have been decriminalized. So this is going to boost a lot of foreign funding into Indian companies, Indian startups, and doing business in India is going to be very easy. A lot of red tapeism is going to be reduced. 3 center of excellence for AI are going to be set up. Talking about green growth and sustainable development and sustainable energy has been the key focus of this government. 35,000 crore has been allocated as a capital investment to achieve net zero emissions, and approximately 4,000 megawatt hour battery storage has to be developed to fill this gap. 50 destinations in the tourism sector are going to be selected in a challenge mode to develop as a tourist destination. Infrastructure, if I talk about this budget is a budget for all with a great push on capex via infrastructure. So the capital investment is going to be approximately 3.3% of the overall GDP, which is approximately 10 trillion rupees. This is almost three times the outlay of the year 2019-20. Railways has been allocated 2.4 lakh rupees, 4 lakh crore rupees, and it is the highest outlay and almost nine times the outlay that was done in year 2013-14. Talking about state government support, the development of states are very important in the federal structure of India. So 50-year interest-free loans of approximately 1.3 trillion INR rupees should be spent within year 2024, and this is going to help the states to boost their individual capex, to provide the end mile solution to the citizens, and develop the overall infrastructure of the respective states. Let's talk about the budget's impact on non-individuals. The finance minister has announced that the credit guarantee scheme for micro, small, and medium enterprises is going to stay, and there will be an even more infusion of 9,000 crores. It is likely to enable a 2 trillion INR of loans by MSMEs, which will be effected from 1st of April. This is going to give a great boost to the MSME sector, which has been recovering from COVID, and this is going to help individual and small entrepreneurs to recover their business, to employ more individuals, and usher in a new growth. So let us understand where the rupee comes from. Out of the overall budget outlay, 15% is going to be generated from income tax, 7% is going to be from union excise duties, another 15% from corporation tax, 17% is going to be generated through GST and other taxes, 4% from customs, 34% is the borrowing target for the government for this year, 6% non-tax receipts, and non-debt capital receipt would be 2%. Now, let's understand where this rupee is going to go. Approximately 8% is going to go into defense, which is a great outlay, 7% into subsidies, 9% into various centrally sponsored schemes, 4% is going to for the payout of all the pensions of all the central government employees, 18% should be the state share of the duties and GST, finance commission transfers and other is going to cost 9%, and other expenditure is going to cost 8%, and the rest 20% will be allocated to interest payments. Now let's understand the sectoral impacts and how it is going to affect the individual industries. Talking about communication services, budget received has been higher than expected, or up to 90,000 crore Indian rupees, and this is going to be anytime soon. So it is a great win for the communication services. Let's talk about consumer discretionary sector. So the tax regime, in the change in the new tax regime, which we'll be discussing later on, is going to be a great help for the consumer discretionary, as a lot of expendable capital is going to remain in the hands of the individuals. PLI allocation for automobile and components stand to approximately 6 billion INR for this financial year, which is a great proposition. Talking about consumer staples, cigarettes are going to be costlier because of the taxes, NCCD tax, which has been increased, and a lot of rural thrust on the budget allocation is there, where PM Awas Yojana is going to get approximately 66% higher free food schemes is going to be allocated 2 lakh crore INR, and this will be increasing the overall disposable income in the hands of the individual and citizens of India. So we can see a good amount of growth in the consumer staple sector. Talking about financial sector, so this is very important to understand that the maturity proceeds of any non-ULIP policies, which were earlier tax-free under Section 1010D, now that has been limited to 5 lakh rupees only per premium. This might be impacting the sale of guaranteed product, but also now highlights that why guaranteed product are such a great investment vehicle where individuals can generate uh, better tax adjusted return over a long period of time, also after hedging their interest rate and reinvestment risk. So that is a mixed decision by the government of India, but we understand that it is for the best of the individuals, and one has to really allocate their portfolios accordingly. Multiple tax benefits have been provided to the taxpayers, so this is going to impact a lot on the financial sector, where a lot of money is going to stay in the hands of the investors, which can be expendable into buying various long-term investment schemes. We have to look at that segment, and that is going to introduce a lot of growth. Overall, no major announcement as such in the banking sector, but yes, there has been a lot of focus on increasing the credit growth, and for the MSMEs and the big corporations also. So, though the cost of credit is high right now at the moment because all the central banks have been increasing their interest rate, but where there is growth in the credit and there is a growth in the overall GDP, it is sustainable still. And let's see how this plays out. Talking about the energy sector, energy and especially green energy got a great boost this time, where green hydrogen mission with an outlay of approximately 19,700 crore to facilitate low carbon emission and dependence on the fossil fuels. So the target is to reach the production of 5 million metric tons by 2030. The budget has provided 30,000 crores as a capital support to OMC, which is quite less in terms of the oil manufacturing companies, which were expecting a higher outlay. But still, the more focus of this government has been to usher in the new green energy and renewable energy. Healthcare, so a new program to innovate research in pharmaceuticals is to be implemented. Centers for excellence in terms of pharma R&D are going to be developed. A large part of healthcare budget is set towards developing 22 new aids across India, and there has been increase in the budgetary allocation to the National Digital Health Mission. So if I talk about the industrials, the budgeted capex of approximately 10 trillion INR is growing by 35% year on year. This is the single biggest positive surprise. Such a liberal budget, one can understand that this is a pre-election budget, and that is why government has been boosting overall capex expenditure. 25% is going towards roads, 15% towards railways, 27% towards water and irrigation, and defense budget has been up by only 8.4%, which was expected to be higher. But yes, overall, if I talk about the budget, the major chunk is going towards defense only. So that has to be seen out. In terms of material sector, housing for all is obviously going to create a good demand in the material segment. Cement is going to see a great growth under infrastructure schemes like National Infrastructure Pipeline, PM Gati Shakti, and National Bank for Financing and Infrastructure Development. Let's talk about real estate now. Real estate, a major decision has come that capital gains on the property sale are now capped for exemptions till 10 crores only. So this will be marginally affecting the sale of high-end, ultra-luxury properties, but otherwise it does not create a much of problem for the retail investors and retail units and normal builders. In terms of utilities, the budget, the government has clearly focused on energy transition towards green energy, and the funding gap will be made to convert and move the India towards a renewable and a carbon emission free country. So the government is providing an outlay of 20,700 crores for green energy corridor, and a great support has been done to develop a 13 gigawatt renewable energy project in Ladakh, uh, which is going to help the individuals and people residing in Ladakh to get a clean and good source of energy. So let's understand the union budget impact on the debt market and the fixed income. So since the budget is positive for the bond market, as the overall borrowing numbers are less than the expected of around 16 lakh crores. So net borrowing numbers have been projected approximately 11.8 lakh crores, which is decent. Fiscal deficit was maintained at 6.4%, which was earlier projected would be around 5.9%, but the PM reiterated that, the FM reiterated that the government intention is to be financially and fiscally prudent, and they will bring down the deficit down to 4.5% by financial year 2026. Further, the supply of corporate bonds and state development loans will be continuing and pressuring the interest rates. The market will be awaiting for the outcome of Federal Open Market Committee today, and the RBI Monetary Policy Committee scheduled for the next week. So just an update, the FOMC, or the Fed, US Fed, has increased the interest rate by 0.75% or 75 bips. The decision by RBI MPC is still awaited next week. With inflation still above the RBI's medium-term band of 4%, there are no expectation of any easing as such now. So let us see what happens when MPC meets this coming week. So if I talk about the debt market action on the budget day, 10-year yield were volatile and traded between 7.2% to 7.4%. Initially, the announcement of higher capital expenditure of 10 lakh crore led to a lot of sell-off. But with the borrowing numbers announced, the fears were unfounded and the markets recovered sharply. So the markets in the fixed income segment trade in a positive territory. We are still yet to expect what MPC decides, and then we can comment on the overall fixed income outlook. So these are some fiscal deficit statistics which one can understand and look at. Now talking about the source of income and how this fiscal deficit is going to be matched. Now let's talk about how this is going to affect us as a normal individual. So one very important announcement that has been done by the Honorable Finance Minister is there has been changes in the new tax regime, where there was earlier a slab of 10 lakh to 12 lakh 50,000. That has been removed, and the new tax regime, which has been revised, has been made default, and it has made taxation a bit more equitable for the middle income group. A tax rebate till the income group of 7 lakh has been provided. This is a great relief for the investors who are going to have 2 lakh additional in their hand, which the government expects them to spend in the economy to develop growth and to usher in a new growth and creating new jobs. The standard deduction of 52,500 has been given above income of 15 lakh 50,000. Tax rebate under section 87A is given till the income of 7 lakh rupees. The highest surcharge on the income group of 5 crore and above has been reduced from 37% to 25%. Tax exemption limit has been increased from 25 to 25 lakhs from 3 lakhs on leave encashment for retirees in the private sector. Income from traditional insurance policies, non-ULIP, where the premium is over 5 lakh rupees, will no more be exempted under Section 1010D of the Income Tax Act. Capital gain exemption on investment in residential houses under Section 54 and 54F has been capped to 10 crores. So this is how it is going to affect the general public. If I give my analysis, this is a good budget for the middle income group where taxation under this new tax regime is going to put a lot, 2 lakh rupees in the hands of the additional 2 lakh rupees in the hands of the investors and in the hands of consumers. And this is going to help them to usher in the growth by spending. So with this, I would like to thank you all for being such an attentive listener. I hope I might have been able to add some value in your understanding of the Union Budget of India financial year 2023-24. For any further details, you can connect with us anytime at ViceFinServe. We would love to help you and assist you with respect to any of your queries. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Looking forward to meeting you again.